being a cop at that time at D'Iberville Police Department and hearing about that. And I just felt like we had to do something. Like, all I could think about is if 6 cops got shot in D'Iberville today, how bad would our community be hurting?
Big time.
Absolutely.
How many people on staff?
imagine.
How many people on staff in D'Iberville?
30 to 40, probably.
Yeah,
it might
right
be
under
up to,
40.
yeah.
That's a whole rotation.
So I went to Chief Wayne Payne at the time. I said, Chief, I think we need to do something. He said, all right, let's do it. So I had this small-minded idea of how we do things around here. I was going to have a shrimp spaghetti drawdown.
Read awful, home, auto, commercial, builders, reps, and life is rich.
Oliver's good.
Oliver Shots is rich.
So mine's Spring Love, Stevie B.
Come back to me.
It hits so hard. All right. No, it hits. Yeah, I'm more like techno. Kind of got like, so. My dad got me a boombox from Santa in, like, I guess '93, and it was Stevie B, and then my brother got Johnny O. Oh. You got to do your mic.
Oh.
Do you remember Stevie B?
Yeah.
I think it's Golden Gate days.
Yeah, I remember those days.
Why hasn't Billy ever wanted to run for mayor?
That's a good question.
Like, think about it.
Because Rusty Quave's been our mayor for, 32 years now?
Yeah.
Is it 32 years?
It's been a long time. I mean, so if you think about it, D'Iberville became a city in '88. Jerry Lawrence, right, was our
Jerry
first
Lawrence,
mayor for the first 4 years. So
he served one term.
Rusty won the next term, which
Yeah.
would have been in '92. So Rusty's been our mayor since 1992.
The longest serving mayor in the state.
I know it's got to be close. I don't know if it is, but
That's
it's
what he says.
Yeah, it's
If
definitely.
he says it, it's true.
Yeah, I love Rusty. I call him Uncle Rusty. I think he's done a great job. I can remember
Oh,
watching
man.
him on national news after Katrina fighting for us,
I enjoy the Po' Boys. That's about as
Oh,
far as
man. What about Fayard's back in the day in school when it was
Well,
right
Central-
there? Oh, my
the
gosh.
gas station, little
Dude,
good.
that roast beef po' boy was about the best you
On
could get.
Central, yeah.
Yes.
So, okay, here's a backstory on that. So that was originally Toronto's. It was my grandfather's store. And the Fayards, the brothers, Keith, Elvis, and Jimmy, worked for him because they were our neighbors. We all lived on St. Charles, which is right there by Scarlet Pearl. And they worked for him from when they were younger, coming all the way up. So when he retired, he sold the store to them, and then Fayards
What year was that?
born. Oh gosh, I think I was probably still in middle school or elementary school.
So how
So
are you
like in the
related to
80s,
David
90s.
and Patrick?
Well, I say uncles, but they were my father's first cousins, so I guess my second cousins.
Okay. That's crazy. I didn't know that. You remember how they always had the trophy, though, in the window?
I do. One of my favorite, childhood memories, every field day in elementary school, we would go there first thing in the morning, and my mom would get me a roast beef po' boy and pack it in my lunch for the field trip.
Oh, you're spoiled.
Oh, I love those po' boys. They were great.
But
And they
everybody
are today. Jason and Bronson's killing it.
Me and you're gonna switch because this one's more like my movie mic. All right, that's gonna sound better for you.
Everybody wanted to sit next to you at lunchtime, get a bite of your po' boy.
Absolutely. I'm
Let me
just
have a
glad
bite.
Jason and Bronson brought it back. They're killing it over
Do
there.
you know Jason won like $1 million on DraftKings?
I do. He is like the
He's still big into it.
I mean, they've done. He's went to the Fantasy Football World
Yeah.
Championship. Yeah.
So no, I'm just gonna make sure. Like I like good audio. I'm just gonna make sure you're good on that one.
Well, usually I'm so loud, I don't need one of
It's
those
fine.
things.
No, I know how it projects, and I know it's just one of those things. I like good audio, and so that's when I got like I have like 15 mics, figuring out how it sounds, like especially when you get excited. Like so this mic, because my mixer can't handle all 4 of the mics. I don't know what's going on with it. So right now I got this mic. So if I talk like this, it throws me off. If we're like telling a story, I want to
So mics is your thing. I'm like that with vacuum cleaners. I don't have any carpet, but I love a good vacuum cleaner.
Kirby is a good one.
Kirby.
Do you
Okay.
remember the Kirby's?
Yeah.
That's
yeah.
old, that's old school. We're going back to the 80s right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. We got some representatives in the house. So let's start with you, Carrie. Okay. Where are you from?
D'Iberville, Mississippi.
Okay.
Born and raised, proud of it.
All right. Did you go to Tylertown?
I did not, but I live right by it. Small world.
That's
I
right.
did, Miss Judy.
Yeah.
Charmaine's my aunt.
Oh, no
I went to
way.
Tylertown too.
Then we went together.
Small
We're the same age.
world.
Yeah, dude, I'm telling you.
Yeah.
So when I walk out of my back door, I'm literally looking at Toddlertown.
Miss Judy was my cousin, Martina.
Yeah.
I'm related to the
So
Martinos.
that's how we knew each other growing up. Then, Buddy, all of us.
Yep.
I was always Tylertown. So wait,
the Mickey Mouse
Yeah.
on the outside.
Did you buy
of
her
the-
house or their house in front of that?
Well, right next to it. So it was just woods, but my mother, it was my mom and dad's house, some woods, and then Miss Judy, and then behind Miss Judy is Toddlertown. So after my father passed away, I bought the woods next to my mother so I could take care of her, and I've been there for 20 years, I guess.
Really?
Yeah,
Is it still? There's still preschool there?
yeah,
There
yeah.
is.
Who owns it now?
I'm
I'm not really sure.
I'm not either.
Dude, remember all the Kool-Aids and oatmeal cookies?
I do, man.
Ooh,
Yeah.
That was it for me. You know,
Kool-Aid and
well,
oatmeal cookies.
my aunt Charmaine worked there, so I was there since I was a baby,
Oh wow.
and I grew up at Tylertown.
So you and Shane are cousins, obviously.
Cassie,
No, Shane.
Shane,
Her son, youngest.
Yeah.
yeah,
Shane,
yeah, okay.
Clement,
I
yeah.
thought I was thinking about Cassidy. No, Shane is my cousin.
Yeah. Okay.
But I was thinking about remember Shane Cassidy? Let's call him Booger.
I don't know.
Oh,
You're 38,
so
right?
Judy's old.
37.
Judy's
37, okay.
middle son they called
together.
Booga.
Brandon Bailey, all of us.
For sure.
What'd you say?
Judy's middle son they called Booga. Patrick.
It's been a long time since I've seen him.
Yeah. Patrick Martino.
What's her daughter doing?
She is a teacher.
Where?
That I'm not sure of, but I know that she is a highly acclaimed teacher. She gets all kinds of awards, and she may work in special education.
Do you remember them driving the RC car to us with candy on it? And when we all had to go sit at the back of the wall, everybody had to sit in the line, and then they just.
That sounds cool.
It was cool. That was a great daycare.
I remember like our tornado drills.
Okay.
Yeah. that's what I remember.
Why do you remember that?
I don't know. I just do. You know. I remember somebody got like a bike or something for their birthday and like rode it around in the room there.
How long did you go there for?
I mean, my whole
Life?
childhood. Yeah.
I was a year behind you.
Yeah, you would have been a year behind me.
Yeah. It was. Did you have rat tail like me? I had a rat tail.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So right here, guys. This is the Pizza Hut basketball. If you remember that one.
No way.
Mm-hmm. This is it.
I do.
This is right here. Mm-hmm. Yep. That's the new one. But I bought this off eBay. Yep. Mm-hmm. and look, the other day I was thinking about how did Billy pull off Golden Gate with the pickle pops?
Wow. Yeah. I was never a pickle pop kind of guy, but I definitely remember them.
25
like-
cents.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I remember being like 15 cents. And then
I always remember them being a quarter.
the rectangle
Always.
pizzas. Well, I could walk to
Ooh.
the skate rink, so I was there like every day. I was on the speed team, like you name it, like that.
Did you do
that was my thing.
quads or did you do the real speed skates? Did you like the? You had the inline
The
skates?
inlines.
Okay,
Yeah.
so whenever there was no inline skates back then, like I'm older than y'all, so we didn't have inlines. We only had what y'all call quads. Those were skates. So inlines didn't come until afterwards.
Okay.
Yeah, I would say those were the 90s.
So I probably was like 80s, early 90s.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I mean I was graduated in 94, so yeah, I was 80s. Like
They didn't have inlines then.
no,
No, I would say the inlines came out mid 90s at least, mid late 90s.
Well, maybe
I
when
could
I was
be
in high
wrong.
school.
I'm trying to date it in my head right now.
Yeah, maybe when I was in high school they had inlines, but no, like they still, and they probably still have them. Like if you didn't have your own skates, you had the brown ones with a big orange stopper.
The bananas.
Right?
The
yeah.
bananas.
Yeah, I mean, I had a locker and I had my own. Mine were white boots. I had a pair of black boots too, and like you could change the trucks and the wheels and. Like I was all
the
into
laces.
It.
I went in there not too long ago for a birthday party, and it is still a blast from the past.
Does it have Ninja Turtles?
Oh man, I don't know. I didn't look.
Do they still have the toilet seat hanging? Do you remember Wipeout Night?
Yeah.
So they had Wipeout Night once a year, and like to get in, if you brought like 12-pack of toilet paper, it was like 25 cents to get in. But then they would take, there was a contest, and they had toilet seats.
Second session is what I remember.
So they had toilet seats hanging from the ceiling, and you'd have to like toss. If you could like make it through the toilet seat, then you got a free pass to come back. Like that's how they got their toilet paper for the whole year. They had Wipeout Night, and so everybody brought toilet paper to get in.
The Hokey Pokey and the Limbo.
Yeah,
Shoot the Duck.
Those were the best.
Do you remember Shoot the Duck?
I do not remember this.
Do you remember Shoot the Duck?
No.
Oh my god.
No.
That was apparently before our time.
Speed races.
I remember speed races, but the thing is, like with me having cerebral palsy, I didn't really skate. I played all the arcade games.
Okay.
So I always played like Ninja Turtles or the hockey game with the bubble.
Yeah.
Remember that, like a foosball hockey game?
Yeah, for sure.
But I ate all the food. Like I mean, that was it. Like I was onto the pickle pops. I was onto the square pizzas.
Did they have the slushy machine still? When
Yeah.
You were?
Oh, dude, the blue raspberry slushy. Yeah, no. So I mean, now you represent that city. That's got to be a big deal.
It is. It's something that that I've really thought about my entire life. Zach knows the story, but when I was younger, we were North Biloxi. I remember my address was Route 6, Box 365, North Biloxi. And so there came a time when all of the citizens wanted to become their own city, and a group of men got together and wanted to incorporate. So I remember walking with my dad, going door to door, Beach Bayou, Fountain, Bati, all these little roads, knocking on the doors and getting people to sign a petition to incorporate, and became a city. And I remember my dad looking at me and saying, very few people will ever be able to witness the birth of a city, and you're one of the very few lucky ones. And I want you to always remember that. And I want you also to know that it's your job to take care of this city. You're here with me and you're helping create it. And one day it's going to be your responsibility to take care of it and make sure that it grows and becomes what we want it to. And I remember filing that away, because if my dad told me something and told me to remember it, I better remember. He's probably going to come back and quiz me on it one day. But so I remember thinking, gosh, that's kind of sounds like a big deal. And it is. And now we're a city, and I've got to witness its growth.
So you graduated in 94, so you were what? It was 80, so 6 years. You were at 11, 12?
Mm-hmm.
Well, the actual collection of signatures probably started 2 or 3
Before
years
that,
prior. So they went around and literally collected signatures on a petition.
Yep.
How many did they get?
To create, I don't remember, to create a referendum to put on a ballot for actually the people of the time of North Biloxi to vote if they wanted a city or not.
That's gotta be cool to be a part of that, though. Like hanging out, like watching your dad do that. And you're like, okay.
Well, yeah, I remember watching all the old men. They would come into the restaurant and talk about it, and then his grandfather or his grandparents' newspaper was a big meeting place for it as well. And just listening to them talk about it and strategize about it, and you just seeing the effort that so many people put into it. As a kid, you knew it was kind of a big deal. The only other time you saw them all talk is whenever they were trying to talk about going fishing and what the tides were doing or whatever. But to see that many people come together, you really knew it was a big deal. And I mean, we were the youngest city in the state for a long time. But to see what we were, we really didn't have a big tax base. There wasn't a whole lot of businesses. Really, there was nothing north of the interstate back then. And to look at what we are now, we're like one of the bigger tax generators in the entire state. It's kind of amazing to think about, just the dreams or aspirations of a few people in North Biloxi. We were still dirt roads back then. What they envisioned, and to see what it's grown into now is really kind of cool.
And you have a casino there. Shout out Scarlet Pearl.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Dude, like shout out to the Scarlet Pearl.
They are awesome.
They put us on the
Luann
map.
Pappas there has been phenomenal.
She's gold.
I mean,
big supporter of our community and her community in the city.
I mean, y'all have a lot of spots there. You have Reno's, you have Pepe's, the list goes. I mean, I mean, Third Avenue Video should come back.
That was one of my first jobs outside of my family's
Really?
businesses. Yes,
Oh, I
Pat
miss that place.
Diaz.
Place
yeah.
was a staple.
Oh,
Yeah.
I used to rent the PlayStation for Twisted Metal.
Every Tuesday at 9 a.m. the new releases hit.
So we've rented video games. We rented CDs, like music CDs, and computer games. And movies. Like it was, yeah. It
You've
was,
seen like Robbie's building some like empire for New Life.
oh man, he is exploding.
He's like sport. Well, he's big into like wanting to train fighters and sports.
Yeah.
Now he's got pools and stuff.
Yeah, I can't wait to check that new build out. It's going to be awesome.
It's gonna be big.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's really invested a lot into not only the D'Iberville community, but a bunch of communities. It's really cool to see all the things that he's
Well, let's
doing.
just say the best place in D'Iberville is Burrito Zone. You sleep on Burrito Zone, you got a problem. Like that is a spot.
It's kind of like a little hidden gem, though. You know,
It is.
I agree, but Pepe's has always been my spot. I feel like that's the staple right there.
I'm just saying for
Pepe's.
the quick burrito though. That burrito, the way Burrito Zones, because you have and you have Moe's, you'll have a lot of
Yeah.
promenade y'alls, right?
Yes.
That's about Tuco.
Yep.
But there's something about Burrito Zone right behind there.
Honestly, I haven't been there much. I'm gonna have to go check it out again.
Dude, I grew up I grew up at St. Martin, class 05, but I hung out with nothing but D'Iberville people because they're my cousins. And we just hung out the Kmart parking lot was our spot. And we would hang out at Taco Bell.
Dude, that was always the spot.
Yeah.
Had to go there to
man.
figure out what everybody was doing.
Yeah, let's go to Devin's property, whatever we wanted to
Yeah.
do. But we all met there after
Yeah,
after school though.
Before the new highway was there. Golly.
But that's
Getting old.
I grew up there because that was just when I first started driving. It was all right. Me at Kmart parking lot.
Well,
you
you
got to
had
settle a
to.
fight. Kmart parking lot.
Well, there really wasn't a wide use of cell phones there, so you kind of had to meet up at a central location to find out where everybody was going and what was going on.
I remember when the drive-by happened at Taco Bell. They literally had
dude.
bullet holes in the window there.
I remember that.
Oh, I don't remember that.
Yes.
It was an Asian boy, right?
I can't remember, but I know there was somebody in the drive-through.
Yeah,
and
it
they
was
drove
I remember
by,
that. Yeah.
and there was literally bullet holes in the Taco
No one
Bell.
got hurt, right? I hope.
I don't know. I was young.
I mean, me and DJ used to hang out shout out to DJ Boreas, love you. We used to hang out the parking lot too, Friday nights. I mean, there's so much history behind D'Iberville for us. I mean, because
It's our whole life.
pretty much. I mean, I got St. Martin and D'Iberville. We really did love each other because we always partied together.
Of course.
And
Yeah, it was a fun rivalry. I mean, when it came to sports and football and all those things, I mean, it was.
You couldn't buy eggs if you were under the age of 18.
I remember
the
going
week
down
that
there.
we D'Iberville played St. Martin.
I remember
you
going
could
down
not
there.
buy
I know,
eggs
you
under
could-
the
I
age of
remember that.
18.
you couldn't never.
Yeah. I was not allowed to ever drive my car to school that entire week because my parents didn't want it to get egged because St. Martin would drive by and just bomb us with eggs and vice versa.
Could
We
you do
did the
that
same.
now, though? Well, I mean, it's probably way worse now.
Well, everybody's got cameras now. You don't.
And I can remember as a D'Iberville boy visiting Diesel Road every now and then.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I
don't think it's there anymore.
I don't know Diesel Road. That's
No,
weird.
I haven't
They
been in a
built
while.
some subdivisions and stuff.
No, they're
back
still
there.
there.
now.
There's
Is
still
it?
a part of it.
So what was it?
Just where we met at the fight. That was like a call out. It's like, hey, you want to meet me on
Meet me
Diesel?
at Diesel
Oh, I
Road.
remember going and meeting somebody on Diesel over my sister. Yeah. Diesel's a real spot.
I don't know. I've ever heard of it.
Well, because you did it outside of school. Like, it was like, if you're talking shit in school, it was, I'll meet you at Diesel. I'll meet you at Kmart parking lot. But you never do it because you go to suspension in school. So it was never, nobody, like, we were pretty smart then. We never wanted to cause anything on the campus.
Yeah.
It was like, hey, I'll see you after school.
So was it
And then
more
they-
rural? That way the cops didn't catch you?
Oh, they knew.
It was an old dirt road back then.
Because Kmart parking lot,
But,
somebody would see
Shout out
you.
to Billy Bryan. I know you're retired, but I love you, Billy. Billy
And
Bryan,
then
I love you.
the Rock and Roll Graveyard. I
Mm-hmm.
think everybody had their trip down there once or twice.
Oh,
I blew my transmission out of my stepmom's Galant there.
Wow.
Yeah, just
were you freaked out?
I mean,
It
because I knew.
wasn't. It wasn't that. It was a spirit got a hold of it.
Oh, it's either that or I couldn't figure out how to drive. Did I put it in drive one? Yes, probably. I think I was 16. I had to figure that out. I mean, it's cool to see though, like of D'Iberville, because we grew up in D'Iberville. You grew up in St. Martin too. We just
Yeah,
floated
sure.
around Lemoyne. I made this comment because I made a post about Mr. James' video, and I forgot who said it. Somebody was like trying to claim D'Iberville. Like, it's like, oh, that's a great spot in D'Iberville. I'm like, you can't claim all of Lemoyne. All right, you can't. Like, because Lemoyne, we share that. It's half St. Martin, half D'Iberville. It's like Ocean Springs trying
It's
to claim.
actually more St. Martin than D'Iberville.
Yeah.
I think D'Iberville has a lot smaller portion of Lemoyne.
Oh, absolutely.
For sure.
But we're all cousins. It just blends. There's no visible line, really.
Dude, when I go and do interviews, I was on Todd's Trencher's Gulf Coast Spotlight, and like, where are you from? Like, St. Martin, Latimer. I wouldn't even give up Ocean Springs. I'm like, St. Martin,
Virginia City is all the same.
Oh, I used to have birthdays at Virginia City. My 21st birthday was at Virginia City because that's Eddie's aunt's bar.
Wait, at the lounge?
Yeah, sorry. I used to, my 21st birthday was at Virginia City Lounge.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And then I remember walking home from there just because I wanted to walk home from there because I was living right off of Broadnax. And we walked all the way from there to Broadnax. Yeah. Kind of proud of it.
Got your steps in. Completed your circle.
All right, Zach. So how about you? Where you from? I know we went to Tylertown together. Now I figured this out.
My whole life is D'Iberville, man. My whole life. Went to D'Iberville Elementary, middle, high school. Got a opportunity to be part of the state championship football team in 2002 at D'Iberville. So that's me.
The Warriors.
That's where
Shout out to Sean Merrill. Shout out to Robbie Ellis.
Yeah.
Jason Hagaday. Yeah, I mean all them guys.
Is it Torrey?
It was
running back?
Carlton Cotton was the year we won state, and then his little brother Clarence, which was in my grade, did a lot too. Yeah, there was a lot of guys. Nick Ladner, our quarterback. Josh Ladner, the head football coach at D'Iberville now. Yeah.
I love Miss Tracy. I'll claim Wesley though. You can have Nick.
Yeah.
I remember
actually Nick. I saw Nick at the ball field. I believe it's his stepson is on my son's all-star team for Woolmarket. So
if you need to get your prescriptions filled, you can go to Landry Drugs right there off of Woolmarket. It's Nick's spot.
Yeah.
That's kind of cool. I was like, what? I walked in there one day as Nick sitting there behind the counter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's all grown up.
So you are councilwoman. What's your district?
Ward 2.
Ward 2. Okay. And you are?
I'm the state representative for District 115, and it's that district encompasses everything in D'Iberville, just about south of the interstate, and then southeast Biloxi.
Okay. So what's the levels of like, so let's go, just educate me on this. Go like ward, councilwoman, your position, senator, Congress. Where's the ladder? Can y'all tell me the ladder?
I think it's not really a ladder, to be honest with you. It's just the way our government's set up, honestly. You know, I mean, you have a state legislature, you have, two sides. You have your House of Representatives, which there's 122 of them for the entire state. And then you have your Senate, which there's 52 senators, I believe. And then, everything kind of funnels down, and you have your county supervisors and your aldermen and your councilmen and your mayors and all of that. Everybody plays an equal part in representing their community.
But we do, as a city, though, we rely heavily on Zach to represent our needs in D'Iberville and Biloxi, and really the Gulf Coast, because our whole Gulf Coast legislature, they really work well together to represent us. So whenever we need funding and projects to be complete, we elect Zach and our other legislators to really be our voice and lobby or rally for us to get money to complete those projects. So a lot of the big things that you see happen on the Gulf Coast would not happen without their support. So if Zach wasn't doing his job, we wouldn't be able to do ours. How much were you able to help us get, you and the rest of our legislative, for D'Iberville this year? It was right around, I believe,
D'Iberville got, D'Iberville as a city, I think, got about $4.9 million.
$4.9
That's
million.
crazy, dude.
And
I mean, I didn't do that myself.
No,
but
it's
a team effort. And
but you're our voice up there.
Instead of looking, but I mean, like Casey Year is also a representative for D'Iberville, and
he does a great job.
Yeah, Casey is always fighting for, the coast and the state.
Casey, Scott.
You got Kevin Felsher, Scott Delano.
Does a big job. Yeah.
I mean, just so many people. Joel Carter. I mean, just doing everything they can, but I would look at it instead of a ladder, more kind of like a football team. You know, you got your quarterback, offensive line, defense. Everybody's working together to pretty much win the ball game. So,
and we wouldn't be able to do a lot of the things that we do here along the coast without their support and their help. Otherwise, we'd have to raise taxes, and our projects would just take a lot longer.
Do you enjoy doing what you're doing? Do you enjoy it?
Absolutely. Absolutely. When someone calls with a problem and you can actually solve it or help them find resolve for it, that is the absolute most rewarding thing ever. It's so great to be able to help somebody in need.
So for me, it'd be like, cause like small shit for me, small shit would be like, irritate me. Like small complaints would irritate me. That's just, if I was in your position, I'd be like, hold up. No. Cause like, there's common sense built into it. And that's why, like, you know, with politics stuff, and I know you have to uphold everything when you stand there. But there's some stuff I just get in my mind, like, it's not that big of a deal, bro. Like,
but to them it is. To them it is. Zach said something one time, and I thought it was so profound. And someone asked him something, and he said, "Ma'am, I'm not exactly sure what you're talking about, but it's important to you. Therefore, it's important to me." And I'm going to find out about it. And I was like, wow, like that's what we're here for. That's like, there couldn't have been anything better to respond with. He didn't know, but he knew that it was important to her. So therefore it was important to him. And that's our job.
I'm not scared to tell you if I don't know something. If I don't know, I don't know.
I'll figure it out.
I'll just get, absolutely. I'm going to take it. I'm going to go find out.
I do the same shit.
But it's the genuine concern that you responded with that you
something
recognize
that's
it was important to her.
insignificant to us can be extreme to someone else.
It might be something that
but
takes
I
away their
understand
quality
what you're
of life.
saying as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, there can come times of aggravation, but you just kind of got to check yourself and go, what am I here for?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And that's something that, like, yeah, I do enjoy. Like, I'm a voter. Like, I'm an actual voter.
Thank you. Thank you.
And I do sit at my precinct, and I do sit at my precinct to see if certain friends are going to vote.
Everybody needs to get out and vote.
You have to.
Everybody.
Don't complain if you're not going to vote.
Our voter turnout lately has been
horrible.
Horrible. You're talking about less than 10% in some cases.
It's frustrating because if your complainer turnout was the same as your voter turnout, wouldn't you? Like, the amount of people that will complain and say something negative about a situation, as opposed to the number of people who actually get out and vote, or the people who will ask for assistance rather than just complain. Like, if those numbers would equal out, man, could we be productive.
I think they're just louder than the rest, but I see what I agree with what you're understanding.
Yeah.
With what you're saying, I should say.
Yeah. It's sad, the number of people who don't actually get out and vote.
How's it feel though? Like, you know, if you have like you have to put a fire out, but I mean, it must way better for y'all, like y'all's victories of like bringing in $4.9 million, or getting a business approved, or being there for a community or a neighborhood. Like, that's got to wait. That's like highs. Like, you're like being sad. Like, accomplishments overtake the negative. Like, if you look, so
sometimes.
I mean, but it's. I mean, you're a person that you have to go to. Like, you have to, you know, email, call, talk to. I mean, I've always been fascinated with that because I see that you need people like y'all to serve the community. You can't have everybody as a voice. You got to get together and you got to build it that way.
Yeah.
You got to send his ass to Jackson.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just like, so like for you though, like when you accomplish something like a development or getting a deal done, that high just weighs all of it.
Absolutely. And it's knowing too, like when you sit back and think, okay, not only did we just get this project approved, but now we've created tax base so I can maybe pave more roads next year. And we've created jobs. So we're seeing our median income go up. And what you don't realize there is your median income in your city, that's what attracts developers, that influences the inventory in your Walmart. It's just like it snowballs into the effect that it has, and most people don't know that, or they don't see like the lasting effect on it. So whenever you look at it that way, man, that goes from putting you on a high to a super high, and you get really excited, and it helps you get over the little things where, you know, people are upset with you because you can't do what they want you to do because it's not feasible. Sometimes it's not legal. Sometimes it's just not as easy to accomplish as some of the smaller things. So whenever you have those wins, it really carries you on over.
That's actually really good. Nailed that. No, I mean, it's exciting. It's exciting that you know that because, like, you went to, your dad getting signatures to start a city. It made an impact on you. So I could tell that you really do care about D'Iberville.
Well, I mean, it's my home, and I want it to always be my
That's
home.
cool.
Yeah, I want my kids to have kids and stay there. So my grandkids are right there by me, and if my city doesn't have all of the opportunities that my grandbabies need and deserve to keep them there, then I have a problem. It's personal to me.
Yeah.
So I want the future generations of my family and my community to have the opportunities that they need to keep people there. And, D'Iberville, Back Bay, and our Gulf Coast in general, it's a beautiful place. When I was little, my days were spent at the end
We're
of
so
it.
lucky.
We are. Zach and I both grew up the same way. Our days were spent at the end of a pier, throwing a cast net or a fishing line. And if we were hungry, we could walk outside in our front yards and catch our dinner.
And drank out of a water hose.
Yeah. How
I
many?
still do that. I still do that.
But how many people can say that's the kind of, upbringing that they've had? Or we can sit out there and we can watch the sun go down, reflect on the water. You can take a boat ride and just find peace and solitude outside on the water. It's such a different lifestyle than most people get to experience. And I want future generations of mine to experience that. So I need to make sure the opportunities are here to keep them here.
It reminds me of my Aunt Rose had the Circle House on Langley Point. Uncle Butch Thornton, he had a shrimp boat. And I always think about my grandmother. She always worked at the shrimp factory as a pillar. And I just think about days with her, like smoking her long 120 cigarettes and listening to and drinking a Natty or a Miller Lite with salt. And then
Natty's where it's at.
Yeah, and then but then she'd be listening to Cher or Fat Domino or Percy Sledge. But she'd get off of work and she was wearing her whole white outfit, the shrimper outfit, and just always be happy. And I'm like, as I got older, I'm like, I'm 37 now, and I'm like, shit, she was way happier than most people I even talked to. Because she'd sit there at the end of her bar at Cedar Grove at her house, but she'd feed the neighborhood. But she'd get off of work and she'd just sit there at the end of the bar. It had the fake wood bar, like the old island back in the day in the 90s. And she'd just sit there. I'm telling you, that ash would get this big. And it would just, her boombox would just be like, dude, Cher would hit and it'd be over with.
I miss the days with my grandma. Just we'd sit in her living room. She had a picture window that looked over the bay, and just listening to the stories of back in the day. I miss that.
Yeah, but how many times when you were younger and you'd say, I'm hungry, and I remember my mama or my dad say, well, you better get out there and catch something then. And you go out there and you throw the net a couple times, you get your little mess of shrimp, and then you had food.
Well, my grandma worked at a shrimp factory, so we got all the leftover small shrimp.
But that was easier.
No, I did fillet fishing.
So that was good gumbos and good jambalaya right there.
Shrimp spaghetti.
Oh,
yeah.
Dude.
I actually don't even eat seafood anymore.
I tell you,
I'm traumatized
Melvin
by my
has
childhood
the
of that.
best shrimp spaghetti I've ever had in my life.
Shrimp scampi kind of thing.
Oh my gosh, it is the best.
Melvin sucks at Gran Turismo. Calling it right now. You suck, dude. I will smack you in any video game.
Oh wow!
That's probably what he's doing right now.
I think you just got called out.
No, we used to
Melvin.
play Gran Turismo so much that me and him would do Le Mans tournaments. We figured out how to engineer suspensions. We played that much of the game.
Real?
I mean, Gran Turismo's it's a video game base, but it's got all real parts.
Okay.
So you run it on a track. So you get lap times. So we'd run lap times, and then we would change the suspension, or we would dial it in a little bit. And there's so many levels of adjustment, and we would just get it to where we got faster and faster.
So this explains his driving habits now.
Yeah. And I mean, now that you pulled up in that Mercedes, that is a great car. That is absolutely a dynamite car.
Thank you. That was a campaign present.
Was it?
Yeah.
But it's a good.
I was beat down and worn out and just having a hard time knocking on doors. I'd never felt so bad about myself.
I remember
until I
when Melvin
campaigned.
brought it. I
And
remember
so
that.
I was at a city council meeting one
Yep,
night,
sure
and he
was.
walked in and he said, "Give me your keys." And I'm like, "For what?" He's like, "I said, give me your keys." So I handed him my keys, and he handed me those. He said, "I'm hoping this can cheer you up."
Well, I mean, you keep in mind you do city council, but your money's in real estate. You make money. You're a real estate agent.
I have real estate. I've been in real estate since 1997.
Yeah, but that car is sick. Like it's got good suspension. He knows what he picked. That's aggressive car. That's a fast little
he picked
SUV.
it for him, and
Yeah,
it's got the sport package thing.
Yeah,
where it
no,
goes
it's
fast.
it's a fast car.
Yeah, I don't drive it over 70 though.
You're lying. You're wow.
She probably is.
Yeah.
No, I usually don't.
So
Usually.
So right now we're talking. You actually came on to talk about United in Blue, which is an organization that you started in 2016.
Well, not exactly. The idea was kind of birthed in 16. The organization wasn't exactly founded until last year.
Really?
Yeah, so we had an event.
Formally founded.
We had an event in 2016 called United in Blue, but we weren't an actual nonprofit.
But how much money
event.
did you raise with that event?
So we raised over $78,000 in a little less than 3 months back then.
Yeah. So, but you took a pause.
Absolutely. When I got into that in 16, I had no idea what it took to really plan an event like that, to carry out a vision or a cause.
It's a lot.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, dude. Shout out to Carter's Champions, John Carter. Let me plug my stuff too, real quick. Captain Al's, July 27th, vote for boobies, right here on the back wall. Tickets at CaptainAls.com. Croker Classic coming up July 20th to 21.
Love the Croker Classic.
Yeah.
We all do the same thing. Y'all do. So I'm saying, I can see you said like formally, like, no, y'all started in 2016. You create the idea of like keep going, because what y'all are just like, I mean, can I do a little spit on this? But United in Blue is an organization that was great in 2016, raised a lot of money for families, for police officers that get killed in action, and they give it to the family that can't pay their house notes, can't cut their grass, have to help their kids. Police officers don't make a lot of money, like they don't. And what United in Blue is to me is they're coming in and helping in a way they can by writing you a check. Let's imagine a dad goes off on duty. Dude's making $45,000 a year, and he doesn't come back home, and then the mom's stuck with that. That's when they come in. Shout out to y'all. Love y'all for that. Yeah. And that's why, that's fucking, y'all are an amazing organization. Like, y'all are amazing.
This was born from Zach's servant heart and being a police officer himself and knowing that there was a need. But it's not just the financial part of it. It's showing up and showing support to that family. And, so many times you see a tragedy like that and you're like, man, I want to do something, but what can I do? So it's just being able to, pour love over them and show them, hey, it wasn't for nothing. Your community cares. We're all here for you. But like what I was telling you earlier, it's like, he's not coming home anymore. He or she is not coming home anymore. And there's still a family that has to carry on. He or she's not there to put the bite together at Christmas time that's on that child's Christmas list. They're not there to fix a cabinet door. They're not there to cut the grass. There's so many things aside from just the financial hardships that somebody somewhere has to step up and fill that void. So there's volunteer opportunities as well, where you may not be able to write a check to the foundation that we can pass along, but you might have a lawn care service, and you say, you could contact someone in the foundation and say, hey, I can't donate, but I would love to come cut their grass for the next 2 months. That's one less thing that the widow or widower has to worry about. It's these small things that, everyone wants to help, but they may not have an avenue to take to do that. So we're about opening up those opportunities to provide ways for the community to show their love and support as well.
Carrie really encompassed the vision with what she said. This was birthed out of wanting to do something, but not knowing what to do. So only doing what we knew what to do or knew how to do. Back in 2016, we had a horrible incident in Baton Rouge. 6 officers were shot in the same day. 3 of them died that day, and the other 3 were injured. One of them was his injuries he ended up dying from several years later. But I remember being a cop at that time at D'Iberville Police Department and hearing about that. And I just felt like we had to do something. Like, all I could think about is, if 6 cops got shot in D'Iberville today, how bad would our community be hurting?
Big time.
Absolutely.
How many people
Can't
on
even
staff?
imagine.
How many people on staff in D'Iberville?
30 to 40, probably.
Yeah, that's-
it might
Right
be
under
up to
40.
yeah.
That's a whole rotation.
So I went to Chief Wayne Payne at the time. I said, Chief, I think we need to do something. He said, all right, let's do it. So I had this small-minded idea of how we do things around here. I was going to have a shrimp spaghetti drawdown. My original goal, I was hoping that we were going to raise 10 grand, send a check and a card, says, hey, we love you, from D'Iberville, Mississippi. And the next thing I know, this thing started snowballing. The Golden Nugget reached out. They wanted to have an event at their casino. And by the end of it, it was standing room only, about 1,200 people in the room, in the ballroom, maxed out, over $78,000 raised. We wrote each family a $10,000 check.
That's dope.
Back in 16.
That's dope.
Yeah.
It says a lot about our community. It says a lot about our
Absolutely.
community leaders to have that type of vision and heartfelt acknowledgement to do that type of service. But the amount of people that came together during a short amount of time, that shows what type of people we have here on the Gulf Coast. I think it's amazing.
We have a big time. I didn't mean to cut you off, Jordan. We have a big time just first responder support in our community down here. It's unbelievable.
Well, yeah, because it's D'Iberville, dude. It's like D'Iberville's up and coming. It's never been like massive on the map. We've always had Biloxi and Gulfport. This is reality. Ocean Springs came in D'Iberville. Look, Gaucher's making moves. Gaucher's
really moving.
Gaucher's 86. Y'all are 88. That's just cool. But you see the ones that actually care, like me. Like, you're like, oh, dude, like, I do vote. Like, I do listen to my community, and I breathe it. Like, it's not a funny situation where, like, especially when you're a police officer. I believe Blue Lives Matter. Like, that is, I'm 100% supportive of that, because if something does go down, who do you call? Who answers the call? Like. And it's a weird game now. We move into this whole tech world of, like, it's more of a vigilante style, but there's young officers dying, and it's kind of getting a lot now.
One of the officers that we're honoring this year at our event, 23. Brandon was 23.
Yeah.
Brandon Esdorf out of Bay St. Louis, 23 years old. I worked with his dad in narcotics for over 5 years. And Brandon was, he was kind of stolen from us. And
Absolutely.
the heroic actions.
Can you talk about how you went?
It's really difficult. I'll tell you, he was an absolute hero. He was just a warrior. He watched his partner get shot, and instead of just taking cover and running away, he ran directly into the line of fire. He was shot in the arm and continued to return fire. And
23 is a baby.
Yeah.
Yeah, and his marksmanship, unbelievable. Full sprint, shot in the arm, one-handed, and is able to pretty much save lives because he was able to eliminate the threat that night.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
23. That's
still a baby. 23, you're figuring shit out still.
Yeah.
Like, you never met your forever yet at 23.
But look what he accomplished.
Yeah.
At 23,
Was it police academy he went through? Did he go to police academy?
He went to Harrison County.
Did he?
and this foundation will and A Night in Blue, our annual fundraiser that will be July 22nd. This will allow us to not only honor them and pay tribute to them and, show the support to the families, but this will allow us to memorialize them.
That's the biggest thing.
That
I'm glad
is-
Carrie brought that up. That's the biggest thing. This is making sure their memory, their sacrifice, everything they did lives on forever. That's the most important thing about this event to me, is memorializing these officers and these heroes for what they did.
I think it's cool that you started this though, where it's like, I got to give back somehow. This is kind of how me and John started Carter's Champions. Literally, it was like, we're pretty much like, we're morons. Let's get together once a year and make a difference. Like literally, like we don't know.
You're making a huge difference.
But we didn't know then when we started. Like we didn't know. Like we were like, let's get together and let's do it. And that was like, when I first got involved, I was like, all right, I'll do it, and get into it. But then when I got to meet the people and get really involved, then I got hooked. I was like, all right, what you're doing by helping, that's massive. Because right now there is a mom that's a mom or a dad that's at home and lost their partner over this, and you're given awareness and hope. But one thing is like, it's something that really bothers me is the way that education and law enforcement, the way they get paid, fucking sucks. And I can say this on my own show. It's my show, sponsored by me, but fucking sucks. Because like you were saying earlier, is like, there's not a fucking enough money going in. You're going to lose your fucking house. And it's like, so you sign up to protect your, protect your country, your community, and you got to figure out, like, if you do lose that person, what y'all do coming in, writing that check, will give a little room.
Yeah, and it's something immediate that goes into effect that day. And Zach, share
about the bill.
Share
You
with,
gonna do the bill? You gonna do?
Yeah,
you gonna
share-
nail
share
that
with-
bill, dude. Nail it.
This is a big
Well,
deal.
It's a massive deal.
I want to talk about the bill. I do. But I really just want to hammer in what United in Blue does, because it's so much more than what we've even been able to talk about today.
Yeah.
Like, you're right. Law enforcement and first respond. This is for all first responders, number one. Firemen, EMS, everything. This is for everybody. I know it might say United in Blue, Night in Blue, but we want to take care of the people who take care of us. And, for example, let's talk about medical cost, right? Let's talk about the family, the first responder family who maybe has a child that's injured or sick, and it's costing a lot of money for their medical cost. I want this organization to be able to go in and help that family financially. This is about memorializing heroes that gave the ultimate sacrifice. This is about helping our first responder families who literally do more than anybody knows they do for us, the sacrifice that they make every day. And look, I know the person behind the badge may not always be perfect, but they're doing everything they possibly can for the community that they live in and they work for, and I just want to give back to them. So
share with them,
Yeah,
about,
talk about your new bill, dude.
So, I'm a freshman representative, my first year, and I really wanted to author a piece of legislation and try to get it passed through the House and the Senate, through the legislature. And I don't believe in just frivolous legislation, right? Just anything. So it took me forever to finally come up with this. And
wait, forever. Most freshmen do not do this. So not forever for you, but it's a big deal for a freshman like you.
I mean, everybody tells me that, but honestly, at the end of the day, man, I'm nobody. I'm just going to be honest with you. I'm nobody. I'm a regular person. I've worked every day of my life since I was 15 years old. I'm nothing special. I'm not. I'm a regular, everyday dude.
Respect, dude. Respect.
I'm not perfect.
You're doing great things.
The only reason I'm doing great.
That's one thing. Like, so me and him dove in to a conversation. It's the way I look at life. The way he looks at life. We're similar in a lot of ways. Mm-hmm. And now, dude, but honestly, let's go from like us with me and cancer, the way you're doing with like first responders, same concept. The way it clicks, the way your passion, you have a passion that is absolutely insane.
And he's responsible with his passion.
Yeah.
That's a big thing.
That's
He's
so cool. That is absolutely amazing.
I mean, you know, nobody can do anything by themselves. Nobody can. I can have this passion and this vision for this great organization and for law enforcement and everything. But I'm telling you right now, if it was just me by myself, nothing would get accomplished. I mean, Carrie came on board. I wish I had the list of the board members and committee members that we have right now, because if it wasn't for all of them, we wouldn't have the money we have in our account right now. We wouldn't be having an event the 22nd of June. It wouldn't happen. People have to come together. We're stronger together. That's all there is to it.
Respect, dude.
So your bill, because I'm so super proud of this. Like, this is our voice on the Gulf Coast making this kind of statement.
You know, being in law enforcement, having to deal with people being killed in the line of duty, right? I noticed through that time that when an officer's killed in the line of duty, their paycheck stops, their benefits stop, and you've got a family that's sitting at home that possibly half of their income was just eliminated. So being in the legislature, I started doing some digging. I found out that entities that employ first responders did not have legislative approval to give the family any money. So I've seen certain people in the community, they kind of come together when events like that happen. They put a few $1,000s together, which is great. They go and give it to the family to help them kind of make ends meet. Now, don't get me wrong. We have death benefits and life insurances and all that kind of stuff that comes in, but you're talking about 60, 90 or more days before that family gets any money. Well, what are they supposed to do for that first 1 to 2 to 3 months?
Borrow money from family.
Yeah.
If your family's got it.
It's got it. Yeah.
Bills
no.
the bills still keep coming when the paycheck stops.
So I was talking to Ruth, a lady down there from Long Beach. Something like, she's retired pharmacist, and she was talking about her husband being a school teacher, and he passed away, and he had his retirement. He died, and then he died the day after the state took his check back.
Yeah, that happens.
Wow. Yeah, and then she was like, and she's 80 years old. She's like, I remember that day. And that's cool that like y'all are doing that, because like that is a serious thing. She's like, I remember they declined, like when he passed away, his state retirement of teaching for 40 years was your check's not working.
Wow.
Most people don't realize the sacrifice too. It's a job that has very little respect. A lot of people.
It's a thankless job.
It is. A lot of people don't want anything to do with the police until you need them. The first thing you do is call 911, and a lot of times, unless they need them, it's a lot of negative publicity. It's a lot of negative connotation toward them, and they just don't get the respect that they deserve. But you're coming home, and you may work really gruesome crime scenes.
So is it 12 hours? It's still 12? Is it still 12 hours?
It's 12-hour shifts.
Yeah, so fuck.
Yeah.
It's a long, hard day. And the baggage that you get.
Which is really like a 13, 14, or 15-hour shift.
Yeah.
You always get to your shift early, and you don't leave until you can. So that 12 hours turns into a lot more hours.
What's a normal officer's sleep?
I would say best case scenario is 6 hours.
I mean, Jordan, think about this. When you call the police, why are you calling the police? It's usually worst case scenario. So the majority of what they deal with is worst case scenario. The things that they see, hear, witness, have to deal with is just all horrible things. And that's baggage that they carry with them for very little respect and very little pay.
Now, go ahead. I'm sorry.
And then whenever they face tragedy, that's where it's like, who's there to pick up the pieces? And that's kind of where we come in. But I will say that, like, there is a lot of support.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say.
D'Iberville,
there's a ton of support in our community. Don't get me wrong.
In general.
Well, I say we. I don't do it anymore. I did 10 years. I got out, but our law enforcement, first responders, they deal with a lot of negative, but we have a ton of support in D'Iberville, on the coast, in general. I mean, it's unbelievable.
As opposed to the rest of the country.
In other areas,
yeah.
I can't speak. We look through a lens of the Gulf Coast, right? Because that's where we're from. but I just know we have a ton of support down here, and events like this show it.
And this is our chance for the Gulf Coast to shine as well. So when the whole rest of the country is saying defund the police and all of this other stuff, here we are on the Gulf Coast having events like this, like the last one, where in 3 months, $78,000 raised. This is a chance for us to shine and show our Southern hospitality, our love for each other, our sense of community, because we take it for granted sometimes, but not every place has that sense of community and that pride and respect for each other the way we do.
I think I've always loved law enforcement. I thought it was very underpaid, but if you're stepping in line, are you going to be my vest? That's kind of like that was a big thing for me. Like there's people out there that respect it though. Awareness is important, but no, dude. I think the pay is what pisses me off the most. The way y'all have to come in this way, because like I'm telling you right now, I think everybody that's at a cop needs to make six figures.
I second that.
Yeah,
I wish we could find a way for that to happen. I really do.
Because you're talking 12 on, 12 off, 12 on, 12 off.
They call it a Panama schedule. So most patrol down here is going to work Monday, Tuesday. They're off Wednesday, Thursday. Then they're going to work Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And then the next week it flip-flops. They're off Monday, Tuesday. They work Wednesday, Thursday. Then they're off Friday, Saturday, Sunday. But for a patrol officer, that is not the case, because you've got to pull every extra shift and every bit of overtime that you can, especially if you've got a wife and kids at home, just to make ends meet.
Yeah.
Shout out to United Blue. You got a cool organization. It is a really cool organization.
Yeah,
can I gift y'all real quick? I'm gonna definitely give y'all this, because I have to gift y'all that. Which y'all know what I'm giving y'all, because me and you were on the phone. We're talking about it. So right now, guys, I'm gonna gift a Matt Stebley. That was I actually in D'Iberville for Haley Roberts cancer fundraiser. This is the Matt Stebley right here.
So awesome.
Grab this, Zach, because I can't. It's too heavy. But right here, looking
that
like,
is heavy.
but the same guy's been on the podcast. So Matt Stebley, right here, put it right there. Matt Stebley. That is one of his Biloxi Seafood Festival prints, signed by him. He framed it himself. And then this is a Mary Hankins, Roses and Ravens tattoos. But this is before she even had the tattoo shop. And Barry is her little boy.
Yeah.
And but I hope you guys bid on this, because this is a really good frame. This is a really good setup. And me and Emily want to give that to y'all. And
thank you.
We appreciate it very much.
We're hoping to have a really big silent auction that night of the event.
This right here is a winner right here. This right here is going to be a winner. And this right too is rare.
Yeah. Shout out to Stebley at Twisted Anchor
and Mary Hankins.
Absolutely.
I know you're retired now, girl, but this is for D'Iberville.
Yeah. Stebley actually back in 2016 donated a lot to the event and helped us out tremendously.
So we probably need to share a little bit about what we're going to do that night.
Yeah, for sure. But I just want to make sure everybody knows what the bill is too.
Oh yeah.
As far as, through the legislature, with the help of a lot of people, we were able to get a law passed that it allows anybody who employs first responders to adopt a policy. And in the event that a first responder is killed in the line of duty, they can give that family a death benefit of up to 60 days worth of pay to help them through that initial time period until some other money start coming in. So
that's massive. I mean, it really is massive.
It is. And most people don't realize that they weren't able to do that. They thought that they would have these benefits rolling in, and there wasn't. And that's why there's a need for United and Blue. But with the legislation that he just passed, or that they passed,
it's his first year. That's what's
Claps to him. I am so incredibly
cheers,
proud
bud.
of
Cheers
him.
to that, dude. Cheers.
Right?
Yeah, cheers, bro. Like,
thanks,
that's awesome.
Well, honestly, what I said earlier, you can't do anything by yourself. The way bills work up in Jackson, you come up with an idea, right? You draft a law. That law, that bill gets assigned to committees. They have to pass it through committee, and then it goes to the floor. Well, my bill got assigned to State Affairs and Appropriations. Hank Zuber out of Ocean Springs is the chairman of State
Great guy.
Affairs. I went to him. I said, Hank, my bill's in your committee. It's something I really believe in. I'm really passionate about. It's a need that I think we need to have. And with help from somebody like him, he actually brought it out of committee. His committee voted on it, went to the floor. Well, before it went to the floor, it had to go through appropriations. So then Chairman John Reed out of Gaucher, he's the chairman of appropriations. I was able to go to him and he helped me. I mean, it was a team effort. Yeah, the idea may have come from somewhere, but it takes a group of people to make something happen.
Yeah. When the rest of the state looks and at the coast and like, wow, y'all really have so much going on. And, I think, probably because I'm partial, but I think we're the gem of Mississippi. But it's because we have such a great team that works together, in Jackson and here along the coast. It really makes us shine.
We have a strong coastal delegation.
Man, we really do. We really do.
I mean, y'all are doing something that you're not, like right now, you're coming on like United in Blue. Like, you're not doing that to be cool. You're doing it to make a difference. That's why you're on my show. Like, that's what I love about that. It's like, y'all are like, you called me. Carrie, you called me. I was like, hey, I want to, like, come on. And I was like, hell, your ass is getting on too. Like, we're doing this because you're fighting. I think people like you get together and just make a difference. Get out and make a difference.
You have to. Somebody's got to stand up for the people that stand up for us.
Me and you talked about it on the phone the other day. It's a fire.
Yeah.
Right. And it's burning on the inside. You have to do something.
Yeah.
You can't sit still. Right. We wish we could be satisfied.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that there's satisfaction in this by any means, but it's like a driving force to just try to do something to help somebody.
Well, it's just like Carrie's talking about her dad knocking doors to start a city. It's that fire. It really,
it really is. That's it.
That was like, I was telling him, I was like, yeah, no, you called and like, yeah, look, I'm not massive in like some, I've dealt with some political stuff where you're like, okay, but let's be real. Y'all been real the whole time. Thank y'all for this. I just like seeing like anybody give back to where you're from. Like, we don't make money at Carter's Champions. It's tiring. It's a lot.
It is tiring.
I'm glad you brought that up because
it's not fun.
This organization is a 1,000% volunteer based. Nobody a part of this organization, including myself, including Carrie, we don't get a paycheck. Every bit of money that comes into here is going to go towards the cause. Now, everybody understands that it costs money to have events and different things like that. So there's a cost with the events, but every bit of money we bring in goes towards the vision.
Yeah, and we've been fortunate that we've had a lot of partnerships, a lot of people. We've had things that needed to be printed and people in the community step up and offer to print things.
It's amazing.
So we've had a lot of support to help make it happen too, but it's all volunteer driven, and it's it's truly a not-for-profit organization.
Absolutely. I hate to even try to single out one sponsor right now because we've had so many sponsors come on board that are sponsoring our event, and they're all going to be advertised. You can check out our Facebook right now. We have a United in Blue Facebook. You can go to unitedinblue.net to find out more about our organization. But like today, I called Charlie Punzo with Illustrative Ink, and I was like, "Hey, man,
Charlie's one of the first with us."
Charlie's that dude is like salt of the earth. And I was like, "Hey, look, I'm just 3 weeks out. I'm going to need some banners and stuff for some sponsors." He said, "Man, send me whatever you need. I got you." Like, that's the kind of response we get when we make phone calls for the organization.
Our tickets, like one of our premium sponsors, Scarlet Pearl, within 5 minutes of hearing, they called and said, "We're all in." So there's so many people that see the good in what our first responders do and what we're trying to do that jumped on board. It makes such a big difference.
So what about tickets though? Like, can people buy tickets?
Yeah, absolutely. You can buy them. You can go to our Facebook and buy them. You can go to our website and buy them. We have hard copies. You can go to local police departments and buy them. They're $90 for a pair. They're $50 for a single. But if you're a first responder, for you and your family, it's 50% off of that. So you're looking at $45 and $25.
And what's included in your ticket is going to be a great night.
Oh, yeah. We're going to have a live band. We've got heavy hors d'oeuvres that are going to be out there. We're, going to have a huge silent auction. We're going to have a live auction going on that night. And all of this is to honor. So we're honoring 5 officers that night. And I really would like to tell everybody who they are, because that's the most important. We're going to have their families there, and we're going to honor, the sacrifice that they made and really the heroes that they are. But you've got Officer Brandon Estorff out of Bay St. Louis, Sergeant Stephen Robin out of Bay St. Louis, Deputy Boutte out of Hancock County, Officer McKeithen out of Biloxi, and Deputy Malone out of George County. And those are all officers within the past 4 or 5 years that's been killed here on the coast in the line of duty.
Shit. It's going to be a good event, though.
Yeah, so it'll be a really nice tribute to them, and it's a chance for the community to come out and show up for their families and let them know that we're in support of them.
Is that normal, though, for that many, officers? Is it ramping up?
I'll be honest with you. When I came into law enforcement in 2010... There. Don't get me wrong. We had officers that were killed in the line of duty here on the coast before, but to my recollection, in 2010, when I came on board, it wasn't like there was 5 officers that we could pick in the last 5 years that had been killed in the line of duty. All of these officers that we're honoring were killed by gunfire.
Guys, that's shitty. I'm sorry. It's just so shitty. It's shitty.
And we're, one thing we're going to do, we want to show the person behind the badge. Yes, at the end of the day, they were police officers. They were also fathers. They were sons. They were brothers. They were uncles. And there's a family. People ask me all the time, why are you doing this? At the end of the day, I was a cop for 10 years. And all I could think about, to me, my driving force is, what would I want somebody to do for my family if I never came home?
Respect you.
Yeah.
That's true.
That's the whole purpose. And like I said, that it's not just the financial part of it too. It's just a chance for those people who said, man, I want to help them. Yeah. What can I do? It's providing, like you said, what would I want somebody to do if that happened for my family? It's providing an opportunity for somebody to step up to the plate and do those things that we would want for our families, someone to come just be a helping hand or, just a shoulder.
Do you want to share this real quick, though? What you were, when you finished off, when you left, what were your salary? Would you share that or no?
That's fine. I spent 10 years at Diablo PD. I started in 2010, left in 2020. And when I left, my base pay was somewhere right around, give or take, $47,000 a year.
So keep that in mind, dude. Keep that in mind. Girls, guys, people. You're 12 hours a day. And now you're playing a game with, I wouldn't, to watch these people get killed over something so dumb. They're just trying to serve. They're trying to protect. That's all I can say about that.
And then, we have officers and firemen. I want to say we had a bad accident in Stone County recently with a fire truck.
Yeah.
And I saw the pictures of the aftermath of that fire truck. And I haven't got a report of the conditions of the fireman that was on that truck. But those are the things we want to be able to go in and help. I heard a story. There was an officer, Jackson County or George County, I can't remember. I want to say he was hit by a car. He was injured. Something happened with pay. I don't really know the whole story, but I heard his truck got repossessed while he's hurt and he's injured and he can't work. Those are the things we want to help with.
Yeah, break down $50,000 by 12. What is that a month? Take taxes out. How do you
taxes, mandatory retirement, health insurance.
It's fucking horrible.
It is. It really is.
But I'll tell you right now, and I'll put in links.
About $4,000 a month.
Yeah, I'll put in links. So I'll put in links, and even if you can't come to the event, if you can donate $100, $25.
Absolutely.
Just donate. If you got $10, $5.
That's right.
And I'll put links into this end of the podcast, and I'll let y'all get finishing statements, and then we'll finish this off.
Well, real quick too. This Wednesday night, Dan B's in the Bay. We're having a meet and greet with local first responders. Some call it a kickoff party for the Night in Blue on the 22nd. It doesn't cost anything to come to that. We're just kind of, you're meeting local first responders over there, people on the United in Blue team, kind of just an event to create some excitement, tell people what's going on. We'd love to see y'all out there.
Yeah, dude, Dan B's is awesome. We did Emily's class reunion. Have you been there?
I haven't. I'm excited to go.
It's one of the best
first
spots.
responder owned too.
Yeah, it's one of the best bars down there in Bay St. Louis.
That's what we hear. I hear it's kind of lively too, so I'm excited about that.
Well, it's just cool. It's not like super fancy. It's just like on the water tower bar. Like it's, you just can't like lean on the wooden what are they, fences they have? Because you sit on them, they kind of upset. It's a good spot, but no, it's just an old tiki bar.
Oh, okay.
It's a great spot. It's like Gill's times 10.
Oh, I can't wait.
Yeah, it's like Gill. It's like Gill's Fish Camp.
Okay.
Shout out to Kevin too. Love you.
Yeah, so we're excited about that though, because it gives the community a chance to kind of get together, and and the Night in Blue, it is going to be a very moving tribute, but I'm also hoping it's going to be a good time where people can share fun, like a fun time and good memories, and just kind of create, a sense of togetherness and community. And hopefully it will be an annual event. Hopefully next year we'll be able to celebrate a year without marking another tragedy, and it can be more of a uplifting atmosphere, perhaps.
But y'all are starting. Sorry for cutting you off.
No, go ahead.
But y'all are starting. Y'all are putting in the work. So right now, I got to keep this in mind. This is because I'm in this mindset of having my own nonprofit with my boy.
Y'all are doing great with that.
Shout out John Carter. I fucking love you. But it is so much work that even though we don't know, like, and I have a whole board too. I mean, shout out Gina and the whole team. Brittany,
how many board members?
12, 13. Andrew, and Randy, Marcella, Emily, Carrie Jo, Paige, Josh, Terry. I mean, it goes and goes and goes. But one thing I have to say is when we do our board, Stacy, Bert, Captain Alice, like Cam, Kane. I mean, there's so many people that just join with us. It's like their own events inside our events. Like but it's like they see the cause.
That's right.
And you're going to have people that stand with y'all. It's like, but what y'all are doing is awesome because you're taking the time out of your day, like, and you're not doing it anymore. Now, dude, you are like a politician and you like, but you were undercover. You've been fighting. You've been through a lot with your friends. Like you went to the police academy. You've worked your way up and you still are coming back to this going, you know what? I'm in Jackson representing, but I'm still going to fight.
You can't forget where you came from, man.
I don't ever.
I know you don't.
No,
I know you don't.
Ever will never forget where I come from.
Even though you're over here in Gulfport, you still identify as St. Martin, D'Iberville kid.
I think it was Marty Wilson that he was the godfather of my son, and having the nonprofit here and the way the city has allowed me to do, first year we did the run was like 15 people. Last year we had 850.
Wow.
So I mean, like, but
it's a big deal.
It's a big deal, but it's a bigger deal to the survivors or the people that are battling. It is a big deal, but at the point where, like, there's many times when we first started where we wanted to quit. Me and John both wanted to quit. It's too much.
It's a lot.
Because you have families. You have families.
No
like you're trying to figure out, like, you're not getting paid for it. You're not taking money from this organization. You're giving it all back. That's one thing I loved about when Zach was saying, is like, dude, we emptied out a bank account. Can we talk about that a little bit? How you emptied that bank account out?
Yeah. So back in 2016, like I said, we didn't have we weren't a nonprofit at the time. We actually funneled our funds through a local nonprofit that helped us organize the event. So once the event was over, we wrote each family a $10,000 check. We paid the cost for the event, which was a little over 10,000, I think, for the nugget. And then there was like $7-8 grand left in the account. And Nick Toulier over in Baton Rouge was bound to a wheelchair, had a lot of medical costs. We emptied the account out and gave the rest to him and his family.
How do you not have people on your podcast like that? And you, like the same thing you had with your dad, like knocking doors to be a city, and now you're official.
That is pretty cool.
That is awesome
when you think about it.
That's so awesome.
Yeah.
I just think it's cool that, like what he said, for him to be so insightful to say, Carrie Francis, you get to witness the birth of a city, and I want you to remember that, because very few people get. But think about that. What a big deal that is.
Yeah, but now we're on the mics. People are listening to what we say. Like they're listening to our stories, and they're going to get influenced by what we talk about.
We're just carrying the torch,
man. That's all we're doing right now.
They just passed the baton. So Carrie's father and my grandfather were good friends, Bob Stein and Scooter Taranto, and they did a lot together. It was really cool, and I think that's where her and I probably got a lot of our motivation and those things kind of instilled in us at a very young age.
So let's do our last cheers, and I'll plug y'all in the label.
I do have a couple more things I want to add just about the event that night. It's really exciting. So we do have a live band there. Our new freshman senator, Philman Ladner, he has a band out of Hancock County. He's going to be playing the music that night. Jason White, Speaker of the House, special guest speaker. Michael Watson, our Secretary of State, is going to be a special guest speaker. And our Commissioner of Public Safety, Sean Tyndall, is also going to be there. He's our keynote speaker for the night.
Do you remember when Michael ran before his position now, but his first every time running, I drove him around in my Jeep?
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he was knocking doors. He was never elected official, and he was sweating in Latimer, knocking doors. And I said, hop in, and I brought him around, and he put signs out and gave him water. And he wrote me a letter. And something me and him kind of talk about, like,
that's cool.
That's
a
really
cool
cool.
story.
He was just an attorney. He was just like knocking doors, like, dude, get in my truck. I had a Rubicon, 04 Rubicon. I was like, get in my truck. Like, let me bring you around meeting people, because I love how hard he worked.
That's a really cool story.
Yeah, campaigning is hard, and if you want to be successful,
You can drive
you
me
better
around
be
in
ready
January.
to put in the miles and the hours.
Well, I take you my Hummer, taking Doug's Hummer.
Yeah. People don't realize what campaigning entails.
It's so tough.
Man.
Like when Joel ran, like, I knocked doors for Joel. Shout out to Joel Carter, but I knocked doors. And I told Lana, I was like, she's running for Ward 4. And I told her, I said, the best advice I can give you is knock doors. If you really want to make a vote, you knock a door.
Best campaigning you can do there, face to face.
You don't need social media. You knock a door.
Well, when I ran, it was like the height of COVID. And so I was like, do I knock doors? Do I not knock doors? Or I guess we were coming off of COVID. And so
But there was still a lot of masks and stuff. Yeah, for sure.
So I ordered a plastic, like a hard plastic mask, like the clear ones. And that's what I wore. And nobody was wearing those. Of course, they were all wearing
it's
like
South Mississippi.
And oh my God, it would fog up. But my husband said, why are you wearing that? I said, because I want people to see me smile. Like, when you have that mask on, like, it just kind of, I felt like there was a curtain between us.
Yeah, sure.
And I couldn't really connect with people. And I got so many comments off of my plastic mask. And I was like, they're like, that looks so uncomfortable. I'm like, it is, but I want you to see me smile. Like, that was my way to connect with people.
Well, the next run, you're knocking doors. Everybody's knocking doors.
Oh, yeah.
doors,
knocking
the only
them
way it works.
twice. Yeah, it's nice when they actually open them.
Well, thank y'all for coming on the show.
Thank you for
Thank
having
you
us,
for having
man.
us. We
I
appreciate
really
the
appreciate
support.
Super awesome, and I'm proud of y'all. United in Blue is just getting started.
It is, and thank you for the items donated for our auction.
Shout out to
man.
Emily. Like she was like, she loves a piece. Like we haven't hung it on the wall. Like we pulled it down from the wall, and I was like, but I knew that because this thing is a Matt Stabley Biloxi Seafood 2014, which is absolutely a rare piece.
And it's an awesome piece.
Yeah, it's gorgeous.
It really is.
And this is a time that you can actually own it. And yeah, just I just know that I know what that painting can fetch over a donation, because this is a rare seafood festival piece. And y'all have a cause, and to me, if it can pay a house note, if it can cut grass, or it can pay for their daughter's dance recitals, whatever.
We appreciate it.
It's only material stuff. I remember that in life.
Well,
I greatly appreciate it, man.
And we appreciate the opportunity for you to have us on. And Zach, while we're here, are you gonna come out on my boat for boating for boobies?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
In July.
And I tell you
July,
what,
what
the
date?
Croker Classic is a family must for Anna Grace. My
Absolutely.
daughter got second place a few years ago. She held that first place like till the last second on Sunday. So we love Croker Classic and Marty Wilson, and definitely I can't wait to go out on the boat with y'all.
And
For
so
that
was
too.
July.
What, July 20th to 21st, and then Boom for
Okay.
Boobies, 27th. July
Yep.
27th.
Yeah, I can't
Crook
wait.
Class is my baby. I don't like know anything about fish, but the way he feels about his daughter doing it's a kid fisher tournament.
I think
I've got
that's so
two
cool.
of them now. My son's 6, she's 12, so
Yeah, Marty
they
Wilson.
compete against each other.
The
now.
reason I'm in Gulfport is because of Marty Wilson. The reason I stand here now is Marty Wilson. That is my Hemingway right there, and that thing is almost priceless. That's ink on paper, and it's never been a print.
Oh wow.
No, right there. Look at there. Look at that.
Yeah.
That's it.
I love Marty Wilson. He is an icon. To
Well,
me.
Yeah.
cheers to. All right, guys, we love you, and
Thank you.
And
Thanks.
Y'all have way more balls than I do running for a position like this, but I love y'all's commitment to the community and to making a difference.
Come out to United in Blue. We hope to see everybody there.
Yeah,
All right,
it'll be a
love
good
y'all.
time.
Bye.